Okay, this is a fight prediction which is going to annoy a lot of people. Audley Harrison versus David Price, or should I say David the Golden Boy Price. And I say that because now that he's joined Box Nation, Sky, and a lot of people believe that David Price is the next best thing since sliced bread. He's going to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. Some people even foolishly enough to believe that he should be in with the Klitschko's today. Look, David Price, don't take nothing away from him. He's a big puncher, and he has some good boxing skill, good boxing movement. But no way is he ready for the Klitschko's. He's had a handful of fights, and yes, he can punch, but there's a bit more to a boxing than just being able to punch. It helps, but ring generalship, being able to move, get timing, getting in and out of range, using your jab, looking for openings. It's all timing and experience, and these things will come through meaningful fights. And to be honest, since Price has turned pro, he hasn't had any meaningful fights. This is because he's blown the opponents away, or the opposition away. They seem meaningful on paper. His first real test was against McDermott, but McDermott had been knocked out already by Matt Skelton in the first round. And then he's fought what's his name, this guy's again? Sam Sexton, which Derek Chisora fought twice, and twice Chisora couldn't put him away early. And then Sexton sort of stood around for 4 rounds, and once he felt the power of Price, and I have to say Price finished Sexton off very well indeed. Watching Price up close, he's works very good shots to the body, short little shots inside. This is one fighter that can fight on the outside with a good jab and a good right hand and a left hook, and can move the inside as well and throw shots on the inside, which is pretty impressive. So this is not me having to dig up David Price. I think he is he has the tools to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. Has the tools, but then so does this next guy I'm about to talk about, Audley Harrison. Audley Harrison apparently had all the tools. I'm sure when Audley Harrison had about his 5th or 6th fight, people talk about him becoming heavyweight champion of the world in the same way. Now, I'm not saying that David Price is Audley Harrison. Okay, we must remember David Price was a bronze medalist. He says to himself, maybe another day he would have been a gold medalist. No, he was a bronze medalist. Facts. Audley was a gold medalist. But does that guarantee you a world title? Does that guarantee you to be a world champion? In Audley's case, no. In Tyrell's Biggs' case, no. And there are other Olympians that have gone on and failed. So what am I trying to say here? Well, I'm trying to say this. Audley Harrison, Audley, if you're watching this video, I hope you remember me. We sit next together in class in Tottenham. I'm sure you do remember me. So shout out to you. I hope all is well in America. Audley, for all he's tried to do, trying to be a pioneer, trying to be the first guy to have his own management company and to do things without a promoter and a manager or a promoter. Great stuff on Audley trying to do that. But in doing so, he wanted to do everything and control everything, and Audley himself has said he's a control freak. And his career has gone been quite mild. He's been pear-shaped. Audley hasn't done himself any favours because he's made a lot of big boasts. He cheesed a lot of people off in the British media and boxing fans. He said within 5 fights he would be the British heavyweight champion. Also, he was quoted, and in this quote, it was to his own undoing. He ended up meeting Danny Williams, and Danny Williams beat him the first time. So a lot of people were kind of happy. A lot of people seem to have been happy when Audley got beat. I think a lot of people consider Audley to be quite arrogant in the way he conducts himself and his fashion, and it's cheesed a lot of the media off and cheesed a lot of the fans off. Audley's an individual. I'm not making excuses. He's an individual, and he's come up short in a few areas, and he's failed to deliver. And I guess the fight that everybody talks about is the David Haye fight, where Audley did not turn up. Audley turned and said that he was injured and he didn't take the fight for the right reasons. It was money motivated rather than for glory. And he said if he landed that left hand, he could have closed the show. He could have. He didn't land the left hand, and we all know what happened. And then there is I have to bring in David Haye here. Who David Haye, and the only reason I'm reaching David Haye is because in my pre-fight prediction with Derek Chisora, I was so hyped up in the fact that I thought Derek was going to win, and generally believed Derek was going to win, that I also looked a lot into the Klitschko fight and how David underprepared or didn't look as good as he should do, and made a lot of promises and didn't deliver. I think that how fight hurt David a lot. He went away. I'm sure he went away a wounded man, came back, and the last fight he had against Chisora, he said he looked very good, very good. I was very impressed with David. And as you said, you see in my videos, I have congratulated David since. So I've got no problems putting my hand up and saying, you know what, I've got that wrong. Coming back to this fight now, what am I trying to say about Price and Harrison? Price, he's had a handful of fights. We're yet to see him in a meaningful fight against somebody who's generally come out there to hit him back and who has got the boxing ability to do that. And I think Audley Harrison has got that ability. If Audley's learnt his lessons, although he's 40, if Audley's learnt his lesson, this could be a cracking fight. You've got the guy that's up and coming in David Price, who's knocking everybody out at the moment, and believe me, he can knock Audley out. I'm not saying you can't knock Audley out, but the fighters that I've seen that have given Audley the biggest problems are people that have jumped on Audley straight away. Guys that have jumped on him and have given him no room to think and no room to breathe, and have set a hard pace on him. Those are the guys that seem to have given Audley problems and crowded him. And even in the fight against Ali Adams, for 4 rounds, Ali Adams was putting pressure on Audley. In the 3rd round, I thought, oh yes, Ali Adams had a good chance of winning the fight. But then Ali Adams made a mistake to leave his chin hanging out for Audley to land the left hand, and we all know what happened. We all know Audley has got a dynamite left hand. If that lands on Price's chin, the fight is over. Big question is, will it land on Price's chin? Well, this is it for Audley. This really is it for Audley. If he were to get knocked out by Price, he can go back to America, and I guess he could stay in America, to be honest. Because who's going to want to fight him? Maybe Fury, or maybe Derek Chisora might want to use Audley as a kind of warm up for the future, as a potential opponent. But you know what? For this fight, I'm going to give Audley Harrison the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go with the line that's been backed in the corner. And I'm going to look at Audley Harrison in this fight. I'm going to totally forget what's happened in all the fights beforehand. And I'm going to put Audley in the corner, as he was in the Olympics, as he was against Michael Sprott, and he will be against David Price. The whole of Liverpool will be baying for his blood. The whole of Liverpool, believe me, are going to be backing David Price to the maximum. Okay? But we don't know how David Price will react to Audley's left hand on his chin. We don't know how David Price is going to be able to do against an experienced boxer who has got a good pedigree. Regardless of what you may say about Audley Harrison, when he shows up on the day and he can box, he will give David Price nightmares. And David Price's style is one that I feel will walk onto Audley's left hand. I really do feel that. I do feel if Price decides to go out there and try to rush Audley, he'll walk onto that left hand. Audley boxes better against guys he's got time to think about. So I think if Audley can, if this fight is a case where Price decides to stand and box Audley, Audley stands a very good chance in this fight. If Price decides to rush Audley, I think he's got a better chance. But what happens when Audley lands that left hand? And you know what? I actually believe Audley is going to land that left hand. Actually, I believe that Audley is going to cause the shock. I really do. I really do. I think that they're thinking that banking on the point that Audley's a 40-year-old. But Audley's not been in any big, really hard, grueling fights, has he? Let's be honest. Has he? He hasn't. So, and if Audley is in shape, and Audley is in shape, there's no injuries, there's no bicep injuries, there's no problems, and he actually is coming to take something from David Price, and he genuinely is, and this isn't a smoke screen and Audley's just talking empty, because he knows a lot of people say, Audley, you talk too much, you need to deliver. And Audley is a man who's got pride. I think Audley will put up a show in this fight, and if this is Audley's last fight, this could be his best fight. And I'm actually going with an Audley win by knockout. Audley Harrison by knockout. Yep, I said it. I'm going to be one of those few guys out there that's actually going to back Audley Harrison. A lot of guys would say, oh, you're going to not back in David Price. Price should win the fight. Based on what the media say. Based on what he's done against Sam Sexton and against the other guy, McDermott. Price is up and coming fighter, yes, but Price hasn't done anything yet, genuinely. Although he's knocked these two guys out, he's not been a life and death struggle. He's not, you know, been backed up in a fight where the guys had the experience and know how to tie him up, to twist him, frustrate him, and Audley will frustrate him, and Audley will set traps. And if there's one good thing about Audley Harrison, he is a counter puncher. So he's a tricky, wily fox in there. So I'm going with Audley Harrison. I'm going with the experienced brother today on this one. Yeah. Price can come again. I don't know how, but I'm not sure that Price is ready for Audley Harrison. A lot of people like to think it, but I actually don't think he's ready for Audley Harrison. Age is the only factor here, I think. If you look at them both as boxers, I think Audley's is the far more talented fighter. And everyone says that Price has got this Klitschko style that everyone's rating about, but yet everyone hates the Klitschko style, but they're going on about Price has got this Klitschko style. You know, we'll see. I could be completely wrong here, and I'll be the first to say it, but I'm one of those people who's going to say it from the start. I'm backing Audley for this one, and if Audley doesn't win, he doesn't win, but I'm backing Audley to land that left hand. I say within the first 6 rounds, Audley by KO. Yep, I've said it. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, why are you backing Audley? But I've backed him for this fight. I think styles make fights, and this style that Audley's going to be bringing to the table against Price is going to give him nightmares. Okay, let me know what you think. Add, comment, subscribe. I've literally put my balls out for this one, and I'm going with Audley. See you soon. Bye bye.